Not everyone knows this. The AA batteries you throw away every day aren't as harmless as they seem. They leave your hands quickly, but their impact can last for years. According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, improperly discarded batteries can leak metals and toxic chemicals into soil and groundwater, posing real risks to the environment and human health. The irony is that before becoming hazardous waste, many AA batteries we toss out still have usable value. If you know a simple recycling trick that very few people ever talk about, and that's exactly what I'm going to share with you in this video. First, grab a pan. Then gather all the AA batteries you no longer use and put them inside. It might sound a bit unusual, but I'm pretty sure this moment will spark your curiosity, because we're about to do something most people would never think of. Next, turn on the stove to a very low temperature and stir the battery inside the pan for exactly 2 minutes. This completely removes any residual moisture from the carbon powder and restructures the graphite particles into their most porous state. This gentle thermal process helps the carbon molecules bond more tightly with the oil bases, transforming them into an ultrafine abrasive particle. Thanks to this property, we can utilize the carbon powder from the battery core to create a specialized polishing compound. For black objects, this powder not only helps to erase tiny scratches, but also restores the deep black color of the surface, creating a naturally glossy and durable protective film. Once the batteries have cooled down, I move on to extracting the carbon powder, inside using basic handling techniques and a few familiar tools. This step isn't particularly complicated, but it's not completely harmless either. For those who aren't used to working with this kind of material, small cuts can happen, since the AA battery casing is thin and surprisingly sharp. So take your time, pay attention to your hands, and be careful to avoid unnecessary injuries. As for the solid carbon rods, I set them aside and keep them for later. Don't rush to throw these away. They can be reused for other interesting tricks that I'll share in a future project. It does take some effort and time, but to me, it's truly worth it. To make the polishing compound more effective, grinding the carbon powder from a battery core into a finer texture plays an important role. When the particles are smaller, they mix more easily with the other ingredients, allowing the chemical components to blend and dissolve more evenly, resulting in a more stable and effective mixture. The second ingredient in this 3-part polishing mixture is a small amount of hand soap. There's no need to overthink it. Just keep a 1:1:1 ratio, and the mixture will be well balanced and easy to work with. And finally, the third ingredient is WD-40 multi-purpose oil, added in the right ratio, and the polishing mixture is complete and ready to use. To help all 3 ingredients mix more evenly and work more effectively together, I build a simple stirring tool. This allows the mixture to blend more uniformly than manual stirring, creating better conditions for components to combine and disperse properly. All right, let's start testing it right now. But before polishing this toolbox, I'll use tape to divide the surface into 2 sections. One side will be treated with the polishing mixture, while the other side will be left untouched. This makes a comparison much clearer, and once it's done, the difference becomes immediately obvious. Once the application is done, the difference between the 2 sides is night and day. That contrast alone shows this trick actually works. And honestly, it's well worth trying, when you agree? Because the results are so clear, I'll continue testing this on 2 more items so you can get a better and more objective comparison. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to catch more useful tips like this in the future. Thanks for watching. To wrap up, this is the end of today's video. Those small AA batteries we casually throw away remind me that every object has a story of its own. When we understand them better and handle them responsibly, we don't just reduce waste, we create new value instead. Hopefully, after watching this, you'll look at old batteries a little differently, slower, more mindful,